Welcome to advisory number 2, Introduction to the Personal Project. So today we are hopefully getting a little more into the personal project. Hopefully you have done your inventory worksheet and turned that in. We will go through that in the next week or so, give you some feedback, or at least make sure that it's complete and go from there. So today our goals are just kind of overview what is in the personal project and then start digging deeper. That's the assignment that is on Canvas for this week. The ATL skills that we're using are thinking with the subcategory of creative thinking and self-management with the subcategory of reflective. So the ideas you've come up with and those sort of things is thinking, you're thinking outside the box, you're creatively thinking, what am I doing? And then reflecting on this digging deeper assignment, because the idea is you're going to think of some topics. Could I actually have a full 3 to 4 months of working on this project? Would I have something that keeps me interested that long? So the MYP criteria is broken down into 3 different sections. First is Objective A, planning. So here it says that you're going to have a state of learning goal, which is connected to a personal interest. You're going to have an intended product, and you have to tell me if that product is successful with criteria that you create, and then a plan for it. So to help you with this, there will be different assignments. And if you notice on the assignment side where it says process journal, all of the assignments that we do in Canvas are really your process journal. And each of those assignments, we're going to be taking parts of that and putting it into your reports. So there's going to be a rough draft for planning, and there's going to be spots that you can throw all this in. So all you're going to be doing is copying, pasting into those sections, and then adding to it and making it more of a actual document that you can read. But each one is linked to the actual final report that we're going to get to at the end. So then Objective B is explaining ATL skills. Now, we talked about 2 ATL skills today, one from your first assignment, which was creative thinking. Then this newer assignment, which is going to be self-management and reflective. So the idea is that when you write your final report, the Objective B is applying skills. How did you come about your learning goal? How did you come about your product? Well, there's skills that you're going to be using on all of your process journal assignments that you could write right into your report. So we're going to be highlighting those each time we have a session. And part of it is research. That is one of your skills. And Mrs. Herman gave a presentation to you on that, or you're going to be having a presentation on that, that allows you different ways so that you're going to research these topics. And then at the end, we're going to explain the impact of the project on your learning and what sort of evaluation do you have based on your success criteria. Was it positive? Was it negative? Did you reach your final goal? Again, it's a full process. You may not reach your final goal, and that's okay. We're going to write about that, and that's in your final report. Okay, so first thing that you're going to need to do is to state a learning goal. So it says that my learning goal clearly states what I want to learn. My learning goal goes beyond simply learning how to make the product. It is more conceptual in nature. So ideally, you're not going to say, I want to learn how to run a marathon, and then my product is run a marathon. Okay, you want to learn more about the fitness, like it says here, or you want to learn how things work and then come up with a product based on that. So good statements for learning might be, I want to learn about something, or what is this, or how to do this. So the idea is that you're not just answering a question, but you want to learn something more conceptually. And that is really the goal of this. And again, make sure that whatever you choose is something that you truly are passionate about, something that you've already maybe started, or something that you already do. Again, we're not trying to make this so complex that it has to be unattainable, but we want it to be more than just baking a cookie. Okay. Now, in order to fulfill the first criterion strand, you also have to have a personal connection. So here, because I link my learning goal to a personal interest and explain why this led to my goal. I would like to learn about fitness because my family owns a gym. Very basic, but it links it together. Now, there might be opportunities to link it even stronger later on, but right now, that's just what we're looking for in this first assignment, is just some links, some why do I like this? What do I maybe have that interests me in it? So there's a lot of different options on why there's a personal connection to you. And then after that, you're going to have to create a product. And it's important to remember that your product goal needs to be SMART. So it needs to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Because again, you have 3 to 4 months. This is due middle to end of February. You need to be specific with what your goal is. Can you measure it? Is it an outcome, something that maybe isn't, as measurable? Maybe I'm creating a fundraiser. Maybe I am going to go job shadow somebody because I would like to maybe be a vet someday, and I'm going to go to a veterinary clinic and job shadow a vet 3 or 4 times. Those are all different things. Right here, I put my product of running a 5K relates back to my learning goal. I want to learn about fitness. Okay. I have created success criteria for completing my product goal that are related to my learning goal. So if I want to learn more about fitness, I might have a success criteria that I will interview a health teacher here at the high school. I will research different ways to run 5Ks. I will research this. I will meet with them. So just make sure that you have things that are successful. And then my product will be successful if I interviewed those people, if I run a 5K in under 15 minutes, I don't know, things like that. So those are just some things to think about. So the assignment that you have for next week is this digging deeper. So I gave an exemplar. You see that on Canvas. There's the assignment that will go right into your Google, and then you'll submit it on Canvas. And there's also a document that is an exemplar, which is how it should look. So I want you to be able to take a look at that and say, oh, what is a topic, idea, learning goal, and possible product? So I put football. I really enjoy watching and playing football. My dad played college football, and I've always found it interesting. I would like to play in college too, so I'm focused on what college coaches look for in offensive linemen. Gives something personal about it. Trying to learn more about football. How is that related to my possible product? Well, maybe I want to create a website with a recruiting video link to it. Now, my learning goal might be how to create websites, and then I go into that. But right now I'm focusing on the football aspect. Baking. I know I said we couldn't bake. I said we couldn't bake a cookie or a brownie. There's still ways to do baking. So I really enjoy baking and am asked to make my specialty cookies for all of our family gatherings. I would like to learn more about the chemistry of baking. I'm learning about chemistry. So I might create a family dessert book with 10 different vetted recipes explaining the chemistry of the recipes, why they work. Why do I need melted butter versus room temperature butter? Some of those recipes need different things, and why is that? And then I talk about family history and a family tree and things like that. So there are many different things that you can do for your personal project. And I want it to be personal. So don't worry this week about what the product is going to be or what the learning goal is going to be, but just put down the topic. And then what could some learning goals and connections be, and a possible product. And then the last part of the assignment is a reflection piece. There's 4 questions on it. And it's just about, what are you trying to learn about this? And reflecting, could I actually talk about that for 3 or 4 months? Would I get bored after a week or two? So those are some things that I want you to think about. So between now and next week on the 17th, you are expected to carefully consider this. I want you to think about it. Some supports that are there for you. The brainstorming assignment from last week, a list of examples from projects from previous years, that's on your Canvas as well. So there's different things that you can have to help you. So we brainstormed with that inventory interest sheet last week. We have digging deeper now. I have examples of those, and then I have examples of previous projects that were done here at Royal Oak High School. So again, if you ever have any questions, you can contact me. You can book me, which is on the Canvas page. You can ask your supervising teacher. So there's a lot of different options for you to get help. Again, we want this to be a fun, exciting time for you. This could be a really cool aside down the road to tell colleges I did this independent project. So there's a lot of great things that you can do with this. So make sure that you take this next week to really think about what you are interested in, what you're passionate about, and what you would like to do for the rest of the time. Because again, it's great. So again, this is a thank you, just giving credit to Slide Mania for these slides. Thank you and have a great day.